Hello everyone, and welcome back to Music Theory Live, the series where I do music theory live. Today we're going to practice differentiating between major and minor intervals of the same type of interval. The website we'll be using today is musictheory.net. If you find their exercises helpful, you can support them by purchasing their mobile app on Apple devices. I'd like to first point out that under the settings wheel, if you go down to intervals, you can choose which kind of intervals you would like to work with. I would recommend not starting with all of the intervals, but maybe just a couple that you are struggling to figure out the difference. You can even choose just one interval, and it will show you examples of that, such as this. All of these are examples of minor seconds. But for today, we're going to practice looking between major and minor intervals of the same intervallic distance. In this case, they're always going to be seconds, but we have to figure out if it's a major second or a minor second. Now, a minor second is a half step, and a major second is a whole step. So I look at my two notes, in this case C and D, and determine if that's a whole step or a half step. I could do this by looking at the piano, or just memorizing them in my head. I know that there's a C sharp between these two notes, so that makes this a whole step, or a major second. I have F and G next, and same thing. I know that there's a note between these two, so this is a major second. We're going to move on now to thirds. Now thirds, I can count the distance between my notes, A, B, C, so I know this is a third. Now I can count the half steps between these notes to figure out if it's a minor third or a major third. A minor third has 3 half steps between the notes, and a major third will have 4. So if I count from A to A sharp, that's 1, A sharp to B is 2, and B to C is 3. So 3 half steps makes this a minor third. In this example, we have G to B. So G to G sharp is 1, G sharp to A is 2, A to A sharp is 3, and A sharp to B is 4 half steps. 4 half steps makes a major third. Sometimes when I'm doing intervals like this, what I'll do in my head is just apply either a flat or a sharp to the top note and see how that changes things. So for instance, in this example, I have C and I have E. So I would think, I know that E sharp doesn't really show up that much, so I wouldn't try a sharp on it. But if I put a flat on this, I know that C, E flat to G makes a minor chord, and C, E natural and G makes a major chord. So C to E is a major third. So let's move on to fourths. Now fourths, we're working between perfect fourths and augmented fourths. A perfect fourth is 5 half steps, and an augmented fourth would be 6 half steps. So again, we can just count the distance between our notes. So from E to F is 1 half step, F to F sharp is 2, F sharp to G is 3, G to G sharp is 4, G sharp to A is 5, and A sharp to A sharp is 6. So this is an augmented fourth. And now we have G to C sharp. So G to G sharp is 1, G sharp to A is 2, A to A sharp is 3, A sharp to B is 4, B to C is 5, C to C sharp is 6, so this makes another augmented fourth. Let's try a couple examples of fifths now. Now a perfect fifth will be 7 half steps, and an augmented fifth will be 8 half steps. So a perfect fifth would be 7, augmented fifth is 8. So let's figure out what this one is. G to G sharp is 1, G sharp to A is 2, A to A sharp is 3, A sharp to B is 4, B to C is 5, C to C sharp is 6, C sharp to D is 7, D to D sharp is 8. So this is an augmented fifth. Now we have E to B, so let's count this. E to F is 1, F to F sharp is 2, F sharp to G is 3, G to G sharp is 4, G sharp to A is 5, A to A sharp is 6, and A sharp to B is 7. So this is a perfect fifth. There's not exactly a quick way to get very good at this other than true practice and time. Be patient with yourself and only practice a couple intervals at a time. Once you're feeling comfortable with a couple of different intervals, feel free to add more and more to your practice, but I would really recommend starting with just a couple at a time. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you have a question, it's likely that somebody else has a similar question, so you help us all learn when you ask questions. Thank you so much for your practice, and if you listened to my most recent songs, I appreciate all of the feedback I got on those. It was wonderful to see the comments and to interact with other people that had written for that competition. As always, I look forward to working with you to build your skills from the ground up.